Top 5 Sportfly and Flybridge Luxury Yachts by Riva Yachts 2021 to 2022. Number 1. 90 Argo. Engine MTU 12 volts 2096L. Max speed 26 knots 15 km per hour. Max range 320 nanometers 592 64 km. Max passengers 20. Number of cabins 4. Price starts at $8 million. 90 Argo is a unique example of the new generation of Riva Flybridges. With a futuristic design, a name that evokes the stuff of legend, and a supreme array of high-tech onboard solutions, this creation of magnetic beauty is an peerless star in the global yachting firmament. The instantly recognizable, forward-looking design defined by fluent, sporty lines lends her a free-flowing, potent profile that captures the eye to compelling effect, and in a sumptuous triumph of elegance and comfort, the generous spaces complement the unmistakable Riva style with contributions from the most prestigious names of Italian interior design. Number 2. 66 Ribelle. Engine MTU 12 volts 2096L. Max speed 26 knots 15 km per hour. Max range 320 nanometers 592 64 km. Max passengers 20. Number of cabins 4. Price starts at $8 million. The master cabin of the Riva 66 Ribelle is full beam and uses all the 5 meters of width with elegance and sophistication, a synthesis and a full celebration of the other 2 cabins. It renders a unique sensory experience where the blue of the sky merges with the shades of interiors, satisfying the eye and gratifying the spirit. With a laden displacement of over 45 tons, the Riva 66 Ribelle is powered by twin-man 1,550 horsepower V12 engines that represent a really appropriate power for a sporty yacht like this. Number 3. 88 Folgore New. Engine MTU 12 volts 2096L. Max speed 26 knots 15 km per hour. Max range 320 nanometers 592 64 km. Max passengers 20. Number of cabins 4. Price starts at $8 million. 88 Folgore. This blaze of brilliant style, this irresistible thunderbolt, is ready to seduce owners and devotees of the Riva legend around the world. The magnetic allure of her design is based on a fusion between past and present. Either way, the end result is a fine-looking craft that has to go down as one of Riva's prettier big boat designs. Number 4. 110 Dalsavita. Engine MTU 16 volts 2096L. Max speed 26 knots 15 km per hour. Max range 430 nanometers 796 36 km. Max passengers 20. Number of cabins 5. Price starts at $12.5 million. Majestic like the work of art she is, as scintillating as the most magical epic in modern history, 110 Dalsavita is Riva's new fiberglass flagship, the latest masterpiece to grace the revamped Flybridge fleet. She is a great creation in every sense for her breathtaking visual impact, for her peerless blend of aesthetics, amenity and high technology. 110 Dalsavita is Riva's new fiberglass flagship, the latest masterpiece to grace the revamped Flybridge fleet. Number 5. 100 Corsaro. Engine MTU 16 volts 2096. Max speed 26 knots 15 km. Max range 310 nanometers 57 for 12 km. Max passengers 20. Number of cabins 5. Price starts at $9.5 million. 100 Corsaro. The Corsair is much more than just a name. It's a promise that this yacht, with her pugnacious, irrepressible soul, will keep every time she rides the waves. Her majestic proportions combine harmoniously with her sporty design, with fluid, arrow-like lines, taking up where other legendary yachts have left off. 100 Corsaro forges ahead in the wake of her illustrious forebears, with a bewitching fusion of comfort and performance, technology and design, safety and style. Thanks for watching.